Welcome back, guys. I'm going to be doing a new series of videos playing through the Return to the Circle Undone campaign for Arkham Horror, the card game. So with this, I'm using Jaqueline Fine, or Thin, however you say that, the psychic. This is actually a starter deck right here. So this is a deck you can buy, pre-made, ready to go, comes with upgradable cards that you can buy. And it's a pretty fun deck, very good Mystic deck, good for solo playing. So first of all, this campaign comes with a prologue scenario. I'm going to read through this right now so you can see what the story is. Sunday, November 22nd, 1925, Arkham, Massachusetts. Though All Hallows Eve is nearly a month past, a grim melancholy lingers throughout the town. Each morning, a thick fog permeates the streets. Nights are beginning to grow longer, and if you ask around town, you'll hear people swear it's getting darker too. But despite the gloomy mood, progress continues in the sleepy town of Arkham. The election of Nathaniel Rhodes to the United States Senate has upstanding members of the community feeling optimistic about the town's future, and tonight, at his well-appointed estate in French Hill, a man named Joseph Meiger hosts the Silver Twilight Lodge's Charity Gala, an annual members-only event that will turn deadly for several attendees. So now, normally you choose an investigator. These are specific prologue investigators, and you play a very short scenario that sets up the fate of a character that you generally have to then, as you play through the campaign, have certain choices to reflect back on what you've done. Now personally, I'm not the only one here who thinks this scenario is quite long-winded for just a short gameplay setup time. It just feels a little bit redundant playing this. I don't know, I didn't really enjoy playing this scenario. But the Return To box has a great way of getting through this. So basically you choose an investigator and then you reveal a tarot card, and based on the tarot card it gives you a pre-made setup for that character. It just saves you a lot of time. Now you can play through the campaign, this prologue scenario if you wish to, but I'm going to skip this out. So I'm going to read the intro, pick a character's intro, and then reveal a tarot card and then set up the game for myself. So the intro reads, "Ladies and gentlemen," Joseph Meiger announces, raising a glass of champagne in a toast. A hush descends on the room, until only the crackle of the fireplace and whispers of gossip can be heard. Allow me to welcome you all into my home for this year's charity gala. We have some very outstanding citizens here tonight, and I thank all of you for your hard work and generosity. Cheers and murmurs of agreement fill the room. Many of the guests raise their glasses to Valentino, one of the most esteemed members of the lodge this year, who sits at the guests of honour table, which is nearest to the fireplace. Joseph's assistant, Jerome, blends into the wall behind Joseph, discreetly checking his pocket watch. In another corner of the room, the head housekeeper, Penny, walks from table to table, filling empty glasses and collecting dirty salad plates. Each of you has done great deeds in the name of the Silver Twilight Lodge in a historic city. Joseph continues. Next year, we will continue to shoulder this burden and do what must be done for the sake of progress. Jerome steps forward quietly, interrupting Joseph's speech with the unassuming confidence that comes from years of trusted service. He taps Joseph lightly on his shoulder and shows him the time. "I'm afraid I'm already out of time. Thank you all for attending," Joseph concludes, bowing. Polite applauses rise from the audience, and Joseph walks briskly towards the parlour, followed closely by his assistant. Two servants collect coats as latecomers trickle into the manor, and Gabriella, Joseph's head of security, watches over the entrance with hard eyes and a clenched jaw. "Has Mr. Sanford arrived?" Joseph asks, curtly tapping his polished leather shoe on the floor. "I'm afraid not," Jerome replies, flipping through the last pages of the estate's guest book. "But he should be here any minute, Mr. Meiger." "Good. I want there to be no problems whatsoever when he arrives. Am I understood?" Joseph calls out to Gabriella. "Make sure he is well protected." Gabriella nods, patting the handle of a .45 in his shoulder holster. Joseph turns his attention back to his assistant. "And have Penny make sure the main course is kept good and hot while I wait for Mr. Sanford's arrival. Not a single slice to be served without his presence." "Not even for Mr. Reevers, sir?" Jerome asks, glancing at Joseph over the rim of his thick glasses. Joseph pauses for a moment, considering. "Pour Mr. Reevers another glass of champagne, and I'm sure he'll not complain. Also, I'm still waiting on those accounts I asked you about earlier today. Don't forget," Joseph says, clapping his assistant on the shoulder before walking back into the banquet hall. Jerome nods obediently and heads upstairs. Soon after, the dark mist would appear and nothing would be the same. So I'm going to choose my character now. So I'm going to choose Gabriella, read her intro, and pick a tarot card to decide her fate. You stand guard as instructed. Wait for Mr. Sanford to appear. By now, the remaining guests have filed into the banquet hall, and you can hear the sounds of merriment and drinking coming from beyond the wooden door behind you. You pay them no mind, remaining vigilant. Years of fighting and discipline have taught you to be ready for anything, even at a harmless banquet like this. Just as you begin to ponder whether your talents have been wasted under Mr. Meagher's employ, a dark mist invades the parlour through the front door and the window frames, flooding the room. At first, you believe it to be only the evening fog seeping through the manor's entryway, until you begin to notice that everything the mist touches seems to have decayed as though aged hundreds of years. You step back cautiously, keeping a hand on the grip of your weapon just in case. Never in all your years have you seen anything like this, and a natural chill spreads through the room, and shivers run up to your spine. As the ashen mists finish pouring in, it coalesces into a singular form, a humanoid figure wrapped in shadows. It raises its hand and points at you with a charred, blackened finger. You unholster your firearm and point at the creature, allowing your train to take over. Don't come any closer, you shout. The thing watches you from the entrance, is unfazed. Its ethereal form begins to glide towards you, dark mist crawling over the carpet in its wake. I warned you, you growl, and a thunderous shot echoes through the parlour as you squeeze the trigger. The bullet rips a hole in the figure's head like a rush of air billowing through a column of smoke. The mist stitches itself together, and the thing continues to drift your way, reaching out menacingly. Nothing could have prepared you for combat with such an unnatural enemy. Faced with no other option, you turn and flee up the staircase nearby, pausing to squeeze off several more shots at the top. The bullets that made it a target simply passed harmlessly through the ghostly figure striking the door behind it. So I've chosen my character, Gabriella, pick a random card, reveal her fate based on the guide here. So I have, that is 14. So number 14 is, I was pulled into the spectral realm and 4 pieces of evidence were left behind, and now I can proceed. So now on to the first scenario, the witching hour, which we're actually going to play right now, right for you. So intro 1 reads, it's a breezy November evening in Arkham, the perfect night for a walk through Independence Square, or so you have thought, until the moment Anna Kasloff offered you to tell your fortune. You agreed that you would soon come to regret this decision. For each of the cards that a remaining soothsayer draws from her deck, she weaves a tale of despair and misfortune, judgment, temperance, justice, the hermit, the hanged man, the hierophant, the lovers, the chariot, the wheel of fortune. To complete her tale, Anna draws top card and lays it on the centre of the formation. Dominating the old worn card is the ominous image of a towering construct of black onyx. A hellish storm rages over the tower, lightning coursing through the dark clouds. It reads, The Tower, 16. Even if the rest of the reading had gone swimmingly, the sight of this centre card would have sent a shiver down your spine. As it stands now, it feels more like a closing of a casket over your body. You did tell me to give it to you straight, the soothsayer says. She sits cross-legged in front of you, wearing a stony grim expression. From her unwavering gaze and her cold eyes, you can tell Anna derives no satisfaction from this reading. Simple misfortune is the least of your concerns, she explains. This is a matter of life and death. She motions through the cards surrounding the tower, each of them laid in the reverse position, and stares at them intently. Arrayed against you is everything that you cannot see. You alone stand in their way, she says enigmatically. You must decide now. What can I do to avoid this fate, or this is bullshit? Well, I feel a bit harsh saying this is bullshit to a kind old soothsayer, so I'm going to say, what can I do to avoid this fate? Intro 2. The woman nods and draws top card of the deck with a steady hand, revealing it to you without looking at it itself. Depicted on the card is a single wooden wand surrounded by a pattern of broken stained glass. It reads, Ace of Rods. Must be ready to act, she advises. For hesitation, without regret, when the opportunity arises, you must set in motion the events that will change this fate. In your campaign log, record that you accepted your fate and add 2 of the green chaos tokens to the chaos bag made of the campaign. Before drawing his or her opening hand for the scenario, lead investigator searches the collection for 1 copy of the Tower, 16, and 1 copy of Ace of Rods, and adds each of them to her deck if able. They have earned these cards and do not count towards their deck size. Skip to intro 4. So intro 4 reads, Silence hangs in the air as you peer into the tower card. The world around you dissolves into emptiness as your eyes fixate on the onyx tower. Rolling thunder echoes in the distance. Do you understand now? Anna asks. There's no other sign of the soothsayer, only his strained voice. A bolt of lightning streaks across the sky. Do you see your fate before you, as I do? Another resounding crack of thunder, and you are suddenly awake. Icy rain pelts your body, soaking you through to the bone. You are lying in the mud beside a wooden trail, and there's no other soul in sight. So we're going to draw ourselves a tarot card now. Shuffle up and see what we get. Okay. So our maximum hand size is increased by 3. We're going to put that there for the rest of the game. That is there. You can play these tarots any way you want. You can play just one in the upright position, which is usually beneficial. So you play one upright, one upside down, which is kind of balanced. You can play Chaos, where you draw 3 and pick 2 to be upside down. Or you can play a campaign mode where you pick 1 for each campaign and play through. But just for easy recording, I'm going to pick 1 like this for now. So this is a scenario here. We have the Witching Hour. So I've got the encounter deck here, Jaqueline Fine. I've got 5 resources just to the side here that you can't see. I've also got, so we have the Witching Hour. I've got the Return to Witching Hour here, which replaces some sets. So Lost in the Woods reads, you awakened alone deep in the woods, south of Arkham. The mysterious soothsayer is nowhere to be seen. You rise up from the muddy trail and try to find your bearings. An oppressive weight hangs in the air. So locations in front of you can enter one another. You can't enter locations in front of other investigators. So normally this game is played in multiplayer. Each player has their own little game area with locations in front of them personally. The agenda cards in this campaign are quite weird. There's strange text in them. So this reads Temperance. Remain calm and you may peer into an uncertain future. The balance of the universe has tilted. You are the fulcrum. Be patient and all will be revealed. So we have 5 Witch Haunted Woods locations. These are shuffled up randomly. We have a new one here, the Witch Tree. So it has a Shroud of 4. So it's a free action. Take 1 direct damage or 1 direct horror. Choose an investigator at a different Witch Haunted Woods location. And they heal 1 damage, 1 horror, once per game. But we're not going to do this really because we can't. We're just playing solo. She has 5 willpower, massive willpower. She has 3 intellect, not too bad. 2 combat, 2 evades, kind of mediocre. But for that high willpower, for a big mystic cards, all those spells, it's going to be really good. But she has a really, really good unique ability. So when an investigator at your location will reveal any number of chaos tokens, reveal 2 additional tokens. Of those tokens, choose and cancel 2 non-fail tokens or 1 fail token once per round. And the blue Alicine thing is +1, and if its effect is cancelled or ignored, draw a card with 6 health and 9 sanity. So essentially, if you want to, once per round, you can, instead of revealing 1 chaos token, reveal 3, then cancel 2 or cancel 1 auto fail. So it's a really, really useful card to have. So we're going to draw 5 cards and see what we get. So we have a maximum hand size of 11, not 8. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So straight away we've got the Ace of Rods. So when the game begins, if it's in your opening hand, put it into play. So this has a unique ability. So during your turn, I can remove Ace of Rods from the game, take an additional action this turn, and during which you get +2 to each of your skills, which is going to be really good if we are struggling. So that goes down there as a tarot card symbol down there, just 1. So we've got 3 actions here. So obviously I need to gain 2 clues to proceed. Now straight away I've only got intellects of 3, so I need to investigate a bit more. So I could mulligan a little bit here for different cards, but I think I'm going to keep these. I'm going to play Ritual Candles. So basically what I do in Arkham Horror is I use the first turn or 2 turns to play assets. Basically set up my board state, get all my cards down here, because if I do it in the late game, I'm going to be struggling for resources, struggling to fight off enemies. So this way I can use this, basically this quiet period as my advantage. So I'm going to play Ritual Candles down here. So after one of these symbols is revealed on a test you're performing, you get +1 skill value for this test. So this is going to help me out a lot. And we're also going to play this Scrying Mirror. So it uses 4 secrets. After a skill test location begins, exhaust Scrying Mirror and spend 1 secret. Perform the reveal chaos token step of the test now. So essentially I can look at the chaos token I'm going to get before I decide to commit symbols to the test. So I can reveal a chaos token, say it's -1, and I think, right, I need just one symbol to do this test. So I can do that and then decide then what I want to put down for the skill test. So that costs 3. Use these 4 secrets. I'm going to use resources for secrets. I've got 1 more action here. Now I could try and investigate and win. So I'm going to investigate. I'm going to exhaust this. So essentially I get to look at the chaos tokens before creating a card to the skill test. I'm also going to use her ability. So instead of revealing 1, I reveal 2 extra ones. So that's 3 in total. So 1, 2, 3. So I can cancel 2 non-fail symbol ones. Or 1 fail symbol 1. So I reveal one of these. I get +1 skill value, so I've actually got 4. I'm going to cancel remove these two of her ability, and then because of this, I'm going to then commit one card, perfectly making 4 for the skill value for the test. So she is a good card, and I'm instantly gain 1 clue. So progress is being made. My phase is over, no enemies. Enemy phase is skipped. Ready up, gain a resource, and draw a card. Robe of Endless Night, so item clothing, has 2 health, so it's handy. When you play a spell card, exhaust Robes of Endless Night and reduce the cost of that card by 1. Now we have a lot of spells, so it's going to be quite fun. So Doom on the agenda. It's got a threshold of 8, so it's quite high. And our encounter card is... These are... Oh, it's a new one. So I've got new encounter cards in here, so I'm going to be seeing these for the first time. So, test 2 willpower. This test gets +1 difficulty for each non-weakness treachery in your threat area. I haven't got any. If I fail, take 2 damage or 2 horror. I should be fine for this, so reveal a card and 0. That's fine. Okay, so we need to gather some clues. So, let's move. Let's go up here. So here we go. So we have the Tainted Well. So it only has 3 shroud. Doesn't make a difference to us because we aren't ever playing multiplayer. So same again, I need to do this test. So I'm going to exhaust Scrying Mirror to play the reveal chaos token step first. Use her ability because it's once per round. And reveal 3 tokens. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this one and this one. Just use this one, perfectly enough to gain a clue. I've got 1 action left. Now it's important to know, I always make sure I've got an action remaining, at least 1 action before I advance the act, because if you end your turn and advance the act, you might spawn an enemy or something might happen to you and you're just unprepared. So this way you're prepared for what comes. So my 1 action remaining, I'm going to use a free action to advance the act. So spend 2 clues. So we get the act card here and we flip it over. Let's reverse this. So it reads, as the rain lets up, a dense fog rolls in throughout the area. Soon all the woods have vanished from the hazy fog. You call out for your companions, but none answer. You grope blindly in the haze, searching for something, anything to which you can cling. Each investigator randomly chooses 1 set-aside Arkham's locations and put into play in front of him or her, and immediately move to that location. Okay, so we have this one down here, one of the new ones. You see the inverted colour symbol. Also spawn a set-aside goat spawn at his or her location. So goat spawn is here. This is one of the enemies from the core set. So Hunter Retaliate, quite pesky. But we can test willpower or agility 3. Each investigator who succeeds exhausts the enemy and disengages from it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to test, obviously going to test willpower, because willpower is really, really high. +1, easy. So that comes into play instantly evaded and unengaged. Shuffle 1 set-aside copy of Demonic Piping into the encounter deck and place 2 other copies in the encounter discard pile. So Demonic Piping is an encounter set that relies on the Piper as Azathoth, a really cool, unique, elite enemy. Once all 3 are out, he comes into play. So, since the encounter deck, discard pile, let's just shuffle this up now. And flip over the next card. So we have Act 2, Witch Hauntings. Whatever arcane rites have been practiced in these woods, they are attracting the attention of all manner of vile beasts, the likes of which you have never seen. Is this what the soothsayer was trying to warn you about? Locations in front of you are now connected to one another. You cancel locations, that's fine. So we only need 1 clue to succeed. Well, that's pretty easy because there's 1 clue right there where we are right now. So we have 1 action remaining, but remember this, we have 1 action remaining, but if we stay here, that's going to engage us after this. We could evade it, I suppose. What we're going to do is we're actually going to move and avoid this guy. So we're going to go down here with our last action. Unmarked Graveyard, a new location. Score the last clue from this location, draw a topmost Hex Treachery card in the counter discard pile. If you cannot, discard cost off with the counter deck until the Hex Treachery is discarded and draw it. Okay, that's fine. So, put 2 on there, end of our go, ready up, draw a card, that readies up, it's fine there. Resource, so we drew Hypnotic Gaze. It's a really weird card, it's fast, so it doesn't cost an action. Play when an enemy attacks the investigated location, cancel that attack and then reveal a random chaos token from the chaos bag. If it has one of these symbols, deal the attacking enemy's damage to itself. So it's quite a fun card to have. 1 Doom on the agenda, and the encounter card is Trespasser again. It's treachery in your threat area. That's fine. We should easily do this test. Plus be +1, easily done. That's fine. Okay, so he wants one symbol. Should be fine. So we don't need to spend anything here. This is just a trial value of 1. Got an intellect of 3. Easily done this. Skull is -1. Yeah, that's fine. So we've got a clue. We're going to spend this clue to advance the act. We've got 2 actions left, don't forget. So this reads: as you scour the woods for answers, or a path that will lead you back home, you find yourself drawn off the beaten trail by a mesmerising melody of silvery pipes. Deeper into the damp, hazy woodland you delve, searching for the source of the strange music. Finally, you come upon a foggy clearing, at the centre of which lies a half-rotted tree stump. An old but delicately carved wooden flute lies atop the stump, silently beseeching you to approach. The moment you touch the instrument, the pipey melody that lured you here is cut short, and a dense fog around you disperses with a sudden breeze. The remaining scenario, investigators will enter locations in front of other investigators. That's fine, we're playing 1 player anyway, so it's okay. So, Pass into Twilight, Act 3 reads: with the strange fog dispersed, you are now able to explore the woods. You're able to find the main path that leads back to Uptown, but this is your chance to discover more about the ritual the witches are conducting. So we just have to basically get 3 clues. So, okay, we've got 2 actions left. So we have to do a text on this, but we'll do this, so it's fine because it's easy. We can investigate again, so Aldesign symbol is fine. We have to discard cards, so we go to Hex Treachery and draw it. So, Hex. So put us a new one. Put Maligned into play in your threat area. Increase the cost of each card you play by 1. Test 3 to get rid of this card. Okay, that's fine. So we've got 1 action left. We're just going to move over to here. So this is Herman's house. After any number of clues are discovered from this location, each investigator at this location must discard an equal number of cards at random from his or her hand. Okay, so that's going to be pretty irritating. End of our go now. So this moves to engage us. Irritating. Take 1 damage. I forgot about the stupid goat. Okay, and we draw a card. Azure Flame, that was handy earlier. So mystics have a range of spells they can use, and using a high willpower they can use spells to do extra damage. So we get a resource, we can play that. 1 on the agenda, and then counter card is Mist from Beyond, attached to your location, +1 shroud, end of the round if there are no clues attached to the location. Move Mist from Beyond once towards the nearest location with 1 or more clues. Well, that's an annoying card. Okay, so I'm going to try to evade this guy down here. I'm going to, let's see, spend Scrying Mirror to reveal the Chaos token first. So I need 2 to evade at least. 0, that's fine. He evaded, and he's down here. We're going to move up here. You can investigate this location where you have between 3 and 5 cards in your hand. That is completely fine by me. So evaded, moved. I'm going to investigate again. I'm going to reveal 3 tokens with their ability. So 1, 2, 3. So that's fine. Because this is cancelled, let's draw a card. Arbiter of Fates. Use the ability twice. Gained a clue. We need 1 more clue, and we've done. So this readies up. This readies up. Draw a card. Astral Travel. Move to any reveal location and reveal a random Chaos token from the Chaos bag. If one of the symbols are revealed, you must discard an item or ally asset you control. If not, take 1 damage. That's fine. That's there. Doing the agenda. Counter card. Unhallowed Lands. These are all new cards to me. So, ooh, this is quite hard. Test 5. Evade, only got 2. For each point you fail by, discard top card in counter deck. If a cursed treachery is required by this effect, deal 1 direct horror to your investigator onto each of your ally assets. So, test 5. For each point you fail by, it's going to be hard. So, that symbol is -1. Draw that into the discard pile, okay. So, top 5 cards, so I'm going to fail by 1, so that's 4 cards. Any curses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no curses there, so I am NK, that's fine. Okay, so now we're going to 1 more clue. We're going to let's prepare for a fight. So we're gonna, first of all, we're gonna play Azure Flame. It costs 1 more because of the stupid card down here. That's fine. 1 charge on there. We're gonna move, and we're gonna investigate. So we'll use the last charge from this to check the token first. It's gonna be revealed. 1, 0, so we're okay for that. Gain a clue. We've got 3 clues, but we're going to wait a turn just in case. This guy moves and attacks. This guy's really getting on my nerves. He's attacking me. So, draw a card. Clairvoyance. This is a good card. Like I say, Mystics use cards to do things like attack and evade and investigate. So investigate using your willpower instead of your intellect and discover additional clues if you get a +1 or a 0. That's good. Doing the agenda, encounter card is a Coven Initiate. So Revelation is called top 2 cards in encounter deck. If it's a run out card, that's fine, we're okay. So Humanoid Witch, 2 stats all round, 1 horror for damage. That's right in our threat area, so be careful down here. So I'll go now. So we're going to use a free action just to spend clues, advance the act, see what happens. It might be okay, I don't know. So let's read. So we've got a new location here, Witch's Circle. It's put into play in the centre of play area in front of non-investigators. The investigator spawns a set aside Annette Mason in the Witch's Circle. So we've got a new location right in the centre, the Witch's Circle. It's got 3 clues on it. Enemy phase begins, move each ready, unengage witch enemy once towards the Witch's Circle. Annette Mason is an elite witch down here, retaliate. Enemy phase begins, discard top 3 cards in counter deck, spawn each witch enemy is combat effect at Annette Mason's location. If no enemies started done this way, ready her, so she's quite a tough enemy. So the new return to card says to put both at 4s in play, the new version. So we have 2 here. We have a Circle Unbroken and another Circle Unbroken. That's the inverted one, with the inverted colours. So the first original one reads, you come across a clearing where a ritual circle has been constructed. Several hooded figures stand around in a trance, unaware of your presence. Overlooking the ritual, it's a powerful built woman who brandishes a long wavy dagger. As she sees you approach, ears place at once, she commands. So if Annette Mason is defeated, advance. If there are no clues in Witch's Circle, advance. So basically I can either kill her or discover all the clues from here. But the return to version says, for what purpose have these people gathered? Are they the cause of disturbances in the woods? And if so, what is their true goal? Perhaps we can learn more from them. If there are more than one exhausted witch enemy, the Witch's Circle, investigators, Witch's Circle, may spend a number of clues as a group to advance. So, this is quite weird. I don't know what to do here, really. I've got a couple of choices. Okay, so I can move. First of all, I've got to get rid of these enemies. These enemies are really driving me insane. I've got to move there as well. Okay, so defeating her will be tough. I could defeat her, but I want to kill these as well. So I'm going to evade the goat spawn and evade that. So goat spawn is, so need 2 for the goat spawn. +1 is fine. Goat spawn's evaded and up there, out the way. I'm going to use 1 shot from Azure Flame. It deals 1 damage, use intellect instead of fight, so I should easily do this. 1. Yep, that's more than enough. That's defeated. And then I'm going to move straight into the Witch's Circle for a showdown with Annette Mason. Okay, so enemy phase readies up. Discard top 3 cards. Any witches are spawned. There's a new witch here. Also, a witch here, Priestess of the Coven. At a location. She has +1 fight, +1 evade for each witch enemy in the counter discard pile. So she has +2 to all her stats. She's quite tough. Counter deck runs out. She varies attacks each investigator at its location. So these attack now. She can attack me, that's fine. So that's 1 damage from her, 1 sanity. This thing attacks. I'm actually going to play Hypnotic Gaze. Ha, screw you. I'm going to cancel your attack and reveal chaos tokens. We're going to reveal 3, hope I can pull one of those symbols. I did, so that means I get to deal the attacking enemy's damage to itself. So, it's 2 damage back to herself. Just basically prevents damage. I can probably kill her a lot easier as well. Okay, and so do on the agenda. That's on 6. Counter card is Unhallowed Land again. We're going to have some skill icons for this. So I've got 2, 3, 4, 5 against 5 and -1. It's just 1. Scored that. It's not a curse. We're okay. Right, so we need to kill Annette Mason. I must do, really. So we're going to want Azure Flame Shot. So fight using willpower. That's 5 willpower against 4. -1. So that's 1 plus 1 damage is 2 damage. 1 more hit and we've killed Annette Mason. So fire again. We're going to use her ability just in case. So 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that's quite tough. That failed. I did 1 damage, but it failed. I can remove these, but I still did not do enough. Ooh, that's bad. 1 more hit though. We can do it. So let's do it again. Fight again. Last charge. +1. That's enough. She's definitely dead. So kill Annette Mason. So advance this card. If you advance by defeating Annette Mason, stop, the Coven's leader yells in a commanding voice, grimacing from the wounds she inflicted. You're not sure if she's speaking to you or the hundred women surrounding you. Regardless, there's a sudden stillness in the clearing around the circle. Resolution 1. Which reads, despite her wounds, the leader of the Coven rises to her feet. More of the hooded figures emerge from the tree line, eager to defend their leader. Interloper, one calls you. Pulling off her hood and pointing a gnarled wooden rod in your direction, her bright red hair glows in the firelight, embers dancing around her extended hand. They're the ones from before, High Priestess, the ones who interfere with our great work. The High Priestess holds up a single hand and a hush falls over the other witches. As always, I admire your perseverance, sister, but I do not believe these are the ones you speak of. She replies to the red-haired accuser. You lower your weapons as several hooded figures approach and surround their leader. They begin chanting in a soft tone as they examine her wounds. The red-haired witch crosses her arms and watches you with a hard glare, her gaze ever straying far from you. I am Annette, says the leader of the Coven. These are my sisters. Tell me, who are you and why are you here? You explain how you work in the woods, how you were attacked by terrible creatures, and how you came to the centre of the circle in order to break the spell surrounding the woods. Annette's eyes narrow as she hears your story. That's impossible. The circle was closed. None could enter the woods while completing our spell. She grits her teeth. You must go at once. This is not your place. The High Priestess, the red-haired witch exclaims. Once being interrupted by Annette's gaze, the two lock eyes, a battle of wills that quickly proves Annette victorious. Stand down, Erin, Annette says with a firm, motherly tone, as though admonishing a child. She turns her attention back to you as the witch named Erin lowers her head in defeat. Go, you've broken the spell, just as you desired. You can leave the woods now, but I'll give you one final warning. Cross us again, we will not be so merciful. You begin to protest, but before you're able to utter a single word, a dark gale snuffs out the fire at the centre of the clearing. Shadows from beyond the tree line suddenly twist and coil into the clearing, tugging at the edges of the witches' cloaks. One by one, the shadows twist and pull each of the witches into the darkness beyond. In moments they are gone, you are left with only the soft glow of moonlight to guide you home. So in our campaign log, we call the witch's spells broken. Mementos discovered, we just recovered the mesmerising flute and the ritual components and earned 1 bonus XP as she gains insight into Arkham's mysterious past. So that's it for the first scenario of the Circle Undone. Well, return to Circle Undone. I look forward to the next one at Death's Doorstep, which we're coming through soon. I'll upgrade this deck. So I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. I'm going to be looking forward to playing through the new sets, new cards, new tarot cards. Any questions about this Return to set, this deck, or the gameplay, let me know below in the comment section. I'll reply to you. If you can like and subscribe, I appreciate that, and thank you for watching.